and we are live for episode 70 of the Unscripted Company podcast. This is actually a special podcast episode because not only are we live, this is actually the start of a 24-hour live stream sponsored by our friends at Applebee's.
And eating good in the neighborhood.
Eating good in the neighborhood. And
or the hood, depending on where you live at.
Depending on where your local Applebee's is located, it might be eating good in the hood. Or if it's in a suburb, probably a decent neighborhood. Depends. Socioeconomic breakdown.
Right.
But yeah, this is the start of a 24-hour live stream. Everyone that's here, super excited. We're all going to hang out for 24 hours. Riley actually came up with a really good itinerary of activities to keep us occupied for the next 24 hours. So not to put him on the spot, but Riley, do you want to give people a teaser of some of these fun topics, games, things that are going to keep us busy for the next 24 hours, thanks to our partners over at Applebee's?
Well, we are going to we're going to take a short flight, so you're going to be coming with us. Like, we're going to take a short flight. We're actually going to go down to Houston, close to the border, hey, listen, close to the coast and everything, the Gulf of America now, because it's no longer the Gulf of Mexico. Yes. And we're just going to go down there. We're going to hang out. We're going to do some stuff. We're going to go to their local neighborhood Applebee's. That's actually in a hood because it's Houston, Texas. Let's be honest.
We're going to go to the Third Ward Applebee's. It's going to be great.
And then after that, I don't know. We're just going to see where the night takes us, because you never know what's down there in Houston, Texas at, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. You never know what goes on. So we're going to take you along for the ride.
Well, enough of that torture. Let me ask you, and I didn't even think to bring this up before we went live, but do you have a question of the week for us, brought to you by our local friends at Applebee's, eating good in the hood? Look, they pumped a lot of money into this live stream 24-hour special, so I got to shout them out multiple times.
The funny thing that probably a lot of people don't know, actually, I probably all do know if you've tuned in before, is we both used to work at Applebee's. So like we worked there for longer than both of us probably care to admit. And so honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if we keep saying Applebee's eating good in the neighborhood, they might be like, hey, listen, there's something here.
My goal with this, I'm going to make it a bit. Look, I did this once last week. I'm going to do it for our 24-hour live stream brought to you by Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood, for this week. And I want to get Applebee's attention so much that they're willing to take us to court. And because of that, we get hyper viral because of all the news press. I'm picturing, do you know the story about Sierra Mist? Are you familiar with that story?
Mm-mm.
Long story short, and I can give you details if you want, but long story short, you had this, I don't remember if they were like an OnlyFans creator or if they were just like a TikTok creator. Anyways, you had this lady who was a creator, made content online, went by the name Sierra Mist. Well, PepsiCo, the parent company of Pepsi, Sierra Mist, etc., basically sent her like a cease and desist of like, hey, you can't use this name because PepsiCo owns the rights to the name Sierra Mist. Well, the content creator, Sierra Mist, did her due diligence and found out that the trademark had lapsed on the Sierra Mist soda brand. And PepsiCo did not renew the trademark to Sierra Mist. So what did she do? She bought the naming rights, the trademark, to Sierra Mist. So technically, PepsiCo was now no longer in the right to use the name Sierra Mist. Have you heard of the soda called, is it Starry? Have you heard of Starry? It's like a lemon lime soda.
I would say it's probably another lemon lime soda.
Starry is Sierra Mist, just rebranded because PepsiCo can no longer use the name Sierra Mist.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. So, if we use Applebee's name for long enough, us too could be famous.
Very well.
Anyways, back to this
Fox News.
Hey, what's the phrase? Any press is good press.
Yeah, I guess.
If
we're
it
just
bleeds,
a podcast.
Yeah.
That's all it is,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Joe Rogan talks about all kinds of things all the time, and look at him. Granted, it's Joe Rogan, but still.
He's not even that good. Is he even sponsored by Applebee's eating good in the hood? I don't think so. Just saying.
So my question this week, and I actually had a couple, but I was like, I'll just go with this one. What if every time you sneezed, you swapped places with a version of you from another timeline?
Does your conscience go with you? Like, if I were to sneeze right now, would I go, let's just say arbitrarily, 3 years in the past? would I be aware that I just sneezed and boom, I'm like 3 years in the past now?
That's actually good. I don't know. I feel like for argument's sake, no. Like you're just like like you went back there and you're like, oh god, I'm here again. Like you're trying to figure it all out again or whatever. But it's a different you, so to speak. So it's like,
Oh, like different universe. Like I could still be where I am, but there's enough of a difference. Like,
so think
I
of
don't know.
like the multiverse and Marvel. Like
Yeah.
you
Like
have
I
different.
sneeze and the wall turns red behind me, but like I sneeze again and I don't know, maybe I'm in like New Mexico or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
everyone
it's
else around me is like, yeah, this is normal.
yeah.
Okay. So I got so lost in the semantics. Was the question, what if that happens?
Yeah. What if that happens? Like
I
how would
think
you?
I'll have my sinuses removed.
I
Because
don't
it
think
would
you
it
can
would
do
happen a
that.
couple of times, right? And I'll be like, now if it works in my favor, might be okay with that. Like, every time you sneeze, maybe the alternate reality you jump into, you get richer, or I don't know. But if life changes enough, I don't like change, right?
I don't either.
I'm conservative in the sense of like I like things to stay kind of as is,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so I think I would have my sinuses removed. I can't go like Lord Voldemort style. I can't remove my nose, but I would remove. Well, I guess it's not even your sinuses that cause the sneeze, is it? It's like the hairs in your nose that hit a nerve or something. I would seek medical attention. Um, Abby and I have also been watching a lot of House recently, so I got medical stuff on the brain. Have you ever watched House? Like,
I haven't watched it, but I see all
yeah,
the Facebook videos of it, so I watch it from time to time. Like,
it holds up real well. We just finished season 2. Solid show. It gets kind of dark at some points now
I'm
that we're
trying to
watching as adults, but
I'm trying to find like another good medical show to watch, but
House is solid.
because like I used to watch The Resident, and then they canceled that. I was very sad, and I was like, this was such a good show. Why would you cancel this?
Yeah.
And then we watched The Good Doctor. We finished that. That show's completely wrapped up and it's done. So we finally finished that. And yeah, like I don't know. Like I'm trying to find. I'll be honest with you, man. I was so desperate. I literally thought about start watching Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, well, I mean, it was like it
it's
took the
it's
nation by storm for a while.
it's on Netflix and it's got like 28 seasons or something. I'm like, that'll keep me busy for a while.
That will, yes.
But I'd have to get past like the old versus like the new because
Yeah.
like I've seen videos from the old version versus the newer like episodes and
Yeah.
everything. I'm like, I'd have to get past all that. But
Well, I will say with House, episode 1 is a banger. Like it starts out strong. There's no like warm up period. It's just like quality content from the get go.
I'll have to, what streaming service is it on?
It's on Hulu. Hulu for sure. That's what we're watching on. It may
I
be
don't
on
have.
Netflix also, but
I don't have Hulu. Hulu started doing their password sharing thing, I think, because
oh
I
yeah.
have my buddy's Hulu, and every time I sign into it, it's like you're not a part of this household, and I'm like, well, what about the other 5 people he's got listed on here? Neither are they.
Yep.
So I can't. I don't have Hulu. All I have is just the Netflix that I pay for, Crunchyroll, Amazon Prime, and what's the third? What's the fourth one? I have one more.
Do you have like Peacock or Paramount? One of those two?
No, I did. I want Paramount.
Paramount's solid.
I just because I had it,
Yeah.
and because I was just watching Yellowstone.
Yo. Okay.
No, that was on Peacock actually. But I had it,
Yeah.
and I just got rid of it because I was like, oh, there's nothing else on here that I want to watch.
No,
But
I can give you a very in-depth list. In terms of money spent on subscription networks, from my perspective, Paramount has the best bang for your buck because it has all the Taylor Sheridan shows on there, which is the Yellowstone franchise. So Yellowstone, 1883, 1923. There's more in the works. There's gonna have like 1943s in the works, and then some other stuff. But like, dude, the Yellowstone franchise, it is peak.
But the show
Peak
that
content.
I really want to watch, that I've been watching videos on YouTube for, and I'm like, I gotta watch this, is Yellowstone or not Yellowstone, Landman.
Landman, yes, that's also Taylor. I totally lapse on that. I love Landman as
Yeah.
well. I saw they were filming up in Denton and had to shut down some roads every now
on
and then.
288. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're filming up here.
And then also, it's not Taylor Sheridan, but also on Paramount is a show called Mobland. It's still ongoing. The first season.
Yeah.
It's Pierce Brosnan. Do you know who that guy is? Like
Okay.
007 before
Yeah,
Daniel Craig. So it's him, Tom Hardy, what's her name?
Oh yeah,
Helen Mirren.
yeah.
And it's got like a bunch of people, but it's. Did you ever watch Peaky Blinders? Are you aware
Mm,
of that show?
mm.
Okay, you have Netflix. Watch Peaky Blinders. You'll love Peaky
Okay.
Blinders.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like, because here's the thing. Not that I have nothing against Netflix. I just don't watch enough stuff on Netflix to keep it, and it's almost $30 a
Yeah.
month now.
Watch episode 1 of Peaky Blinders if you want a new show to jump into.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders is solid. It's like 1915 era uh, British gang activity, but it's got a solid cast. It has I forget his name. Uh, what is his name? Hang on. Something Fillion? No, hang on. Uh, what's his name? He also played the Scarecrow in the Batman franchise. I can Google this. Why am I sitting here?
I wish I could look to see what shows. Okay, that's only $8 a month for.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, I know who that is.
And it's got Tom Hardy technically, and he plays an angry Jewish guy.
So would it be better? Like, okay, so if I'm getting Paramount Plus because they have the one with Showtime, do I need Showtime?
No, you don't. No, I just have the basic one that's like ad free, whatever that most basic tier
Like
is.
$8, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that. But yeah, dude, okay. Here's how you have to do it. So if you've watched Yellowstone, you don't even have to watch all of it. You just have to be aware of like what Yellowstone is.
Yeah.
Go and watch 1883. It's one season. I can promise you, in my opinion at least, it's the best. If I had to bet money, it's the best Western ever told. I think it's like a movie, but it's one season of television. It's a prequel of a prequel of the Yellowstone cast of characters in the year 1883.
Mm-hmm.
Takes place in Texas, goes all the way up to, I'm not going to spoil it. You can know if you've already watched Yellowstone. Then you have 1923, which is a generation after 1883. That has Harrison Ford is the lead with Helen Mirren as well. They're at the ranch, like the Yellowstone Ranch, but like in 1923. And then they're getting ready to do the next generation, which will be, I think, 1943. I think it's the year they're picking. They're sticking with the threes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting ready to do a spinoff of 1883 from the Native American perspective, because 1883 has that. It's a good universe to get hooked on. So
Yeah. No, I'll have to gauge it and see, because it's like because like I said, the only reason I had Hulu, which it sucks now because I watched The Rookie, and now I
yeah,
haven't seen like an episode in like 4 weeks, and so like I need my Rookie fix, but it's not that I don't have that, so it's like I got to figure out,
and Harrison Ford is quoted saying that 1923 was one of the most challenging, but also one of the most rewarding productions he's ever done in his entire career. Yeah, it's very good.
I'll see what's up. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But
I don't watch too much else on Paramount because it's like MTV and like CBS stuff, which I don't watch too much, honestly. But just for the Taylor Sheridan content alone, and Mobland, which is not Taylor Sheridan, but Mobland's pretty darn solid.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look at all of it, because like I said, I only have 4 subscriptions that I pay for.
Yeah.
Like, and one of them is the Apple Family plan, but that's just because we get the extra storage space, which I hate it, because it's like, yeah, pay $30 a month for all of this stuff, but then you still got to pay for the stuff in the stuff, and I'm like,
$30 a month.
Yeah, but it gives us an extra 200 gigs of cloud storage space. We get
I know, but like, so I pay for Google, was it Google One or whatever they call it, and it's $30 a year, and I have 500 gigs of Google Drive storage. I can increase it by $10 for a terabyte, but I don't need a terabyte yet.
So we have. Let me find it real quick.
Yeah. And while you do that, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this 24-hour live stream, Applebee's, eating good in the hood. While you think about that, I just want to reminisce. I love Applebee's boneless wings. They're so good. They're like 300 calories a boneless wing. Once you like lather that sloppy sauce on there, it's so good. Have you tried the 4-cheese mac and cheese? It's only 2,600 calories. It's really good. Like, why bother eating lunch and breakfast when you can go for like an early dinner and just get all the meals out of the way with the one pasta? And if you really want to go out of your way, you can get the 2 for $400 or whatever it is these days. You can get and the spinach artichoke dip. You can get 2 servings of the 4-cheese mac and cheese, and then I don't know, screw it, throw a
Triple chocolate meltdown on
triple
top.
chocolate meltdown, and you can consume all 10,000 calories for your month in one sitting. Dude, do you remember? I'll say this because I don't care anymore. Do you remember that Korean flight school in Denton? They would come in from time to time.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, and they would sit down and like one kid, like for those of you out there who aren't aware, like I'm not exaggerating this. You have like very stereotypical, unfortunately, but like you'd have like a skinny Korean kid come in early 20s and they would consume a 2 for 20 at this time by themselves. And so they would get like an appetizer, regardless of what it is, and they get 2 entrees. And I'm not exaggerating when I say some of these entrees are 2,000 calories each. And they would just down it and then maybe get a dessert. I don't know. But
or to get it to go and go eat it at night.
that too. Hey, more power to them, man.
Right.
More power to them.
So yeah, the Apple Family Plan is $26 a month, and you get the music, the Apple TV, the games.
Oh, okay. If you're getting music with it too,
yeah, it's over 100 million songs, all ad free. Now they have a Premiere that's $40 a month, and you get like the news break stuff, like the news stuff, and then like other stuff. The thing is, like when I get on Apple TV, it's like, hey, guess what? You still got to pay for this. And I'm like, what do you mean I still got to pay for this? I paid for it already. So it's like,
oh, that's okay. Yeah, I know. Was it Amazon kind of does that because you can have Amazon Prime, but then once you go to watch a video, they have like the premium tier of that to get like truly ad free.
Yeah. Well, like even then, it's like, I don't know. If I go to watch a movie or something like that, it would be like, hey, you have to pay for this movie. But I'm like, that doesn't make sense because I already pay for it. So why am I having to pay for something I'm already paying for?
Do we just is the real hustle here? Do we just go back to having cable? Do we just drop subscription and go back to cable and then just get a DVR box or like a TiVo or something and just record stuff?
Dude, I feel like that's eventually going to happen unless someone's just going to buy up all these companies and just have like a one payment, like pay $85 a month and you get Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, Amazon Prime, like all these. And it's like, you just do whatever.
Quick shout out real quick. I see Dana's in the chat saying how she's dying at the Applebee's ads because Dana and others are dying to go eat at the local Applebee's, eating good in the hood. Thanks again to our sponsor for this 24-hour live stream. Sorry, you were originally going to talk about something, and then I just
no. Okay, no, you're good.
Okay? Let's since we've made a habit out of doing this, we'll just continue with our local Texas weather segment. Man, I think y'all got some of this too, because I know Austin, San Antonio got hit. I think Houston got hit because it hit them after us. Did y'all get any of the crazy weather this past week with like the hail and the storms? And
while we were asleep,
man, here, let me throw this up real quick. We had like some like tennis ball, baseball, grapefruit size hail this past week. Look at this in the lake. And the wild thing is, so in the video here, this is a tree falling over from the weather. Parts of like downtown-ish Austin, they basically got hit by a hurricane. In terms of, they had 85-mile-an-hour plus winds hit them out of nowhere. And it was a storm that lasted quite literally 10 minutes. But it came through like almost like a Category 3 or Category 4 hurricane. Mm-hmm. It's wild. They had like over 60,000 homes were without power for over a day. Look at this. The state capitol got damaged. Glass got broken in the dome because of the hail. Look at this. This was like snow, but this is hail. And this was only like 10 minutes worth of time.
That's insane.
Yeah. So got hit with that this past week. And then the funny thing I wanted to explain that first before I showed this next video. You know Waymo, the self-driving cars? Mm-hmm. No one's programmed a Waymo yet to watch out for flash flooding to know when streets flood. So sometimes you'll have a situation like this when a Waymo just drives straight into a flooded street. And now it's stuck.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Not surprised either. So we had that this past week. I wasn't sure how far north it went. I know y'all have already had some crazy weather this past
Indeed.
not even I guess year, I guess, but like tornadoes. Thankfully, we haven't really had. Well, they almost had a tornado with this flash thing happen, but y'all definitely have way more of a tornado concern than we do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just a bit, but we haven't had too much to really worry about this year. Granted, we still have the month of June and
yeah,
part of July, I guess, if you really want to consider that. But for the most part, I mean, there was one storm that we had that we didn't get hit by a tornado, but there were people going on record saying that there was like an EF1 that touched down in Louisville or something. Like you
yeah,
could kind of see from some, like they're working on getting more footage, but you can kind of see in some of the videos how it just kind of comes through and rips like these buildings up and stuff. But
yeah.
who knows?
I want to give a shout out real quick to Daddy Streaming joining us in the chat. He was a little late to the live stream, but he had to go to his local Applebee's. Thank you again, Applebee's, for supporting this 24-hour live stream. He had to go get some of that. Was it 3 cheese penne pasta? I think they changed it to something else, right? They
No,
changed the pasta style.
it's still the 3 cheese chicken penne.
It used to be the cavatappi, right? It went from the
Yeah, it went
cavatappi to
from
penne.
penne to cavatappi to back to penne, and then they re-released all the Bourbon Street stuff, and they're like, "Hey, look at all this new stuff," and I'm like, "It's not new stuff; it's the same stuff. They're trying to promo it to you guys." So
Yeah, trying to make sure you're eating good in the hood, you know? Thanks again to our sponsors, Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood.
yep,
I saw you had a litany of things on the notes real quick.
that's taking it lightly, sir.
Yeah, is there one in particular you want to kind of kick off with? I mean, I see you have construction on I-35 in Texas lasting at least 2033. I think that's like a very liberal estimation. I think it'll still be going on until the day we die in our old
Probably.
age. I see you got a whole thing. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4,
I have
5,
12
6, 7,
things.
8, 9, 10, 11. You have 11 things,
Is
sir.
it 11? Hold on.
I might have miscounted, but I'm sticking to my guns.
Okay, it was 11. You're right.
It
I
was
thought.
11.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as the quesadilla burger goes, here's the thing. I didn't get it traditionally the way it would come. I would get it with like I had to create my own menu. After working there for so long, you get tired of eating the same thing. So I had to start creating my own menu, and that's exactly what I did. So I would not get it the traditional way.
He's a Applebee's artisanal chef, as they call him.
You have to when the food is as bad
Yeah.
as it is there. You gotta have to. No, I mean some of these are kind of like like little small things, and some of them we can kind of get into a little bit.
Yeah. I saw you had to think about OpenAI on there.
Yes, I
Completely
did.
unrelated. I think I had it in the notes for last week. I didn't get to it. Did you see how OpenAI actually turned off one of its safety like protocols when they were trying to alter some of the code on there?
I did not.
Oh man. Anyways, continue what you're gonna say. And
Uh, so I mean, I guess we could just start off. So, well, okay, we'll start. We'll get the bad stuff out of the way first of all, because we did have something that happened about a week and a half ago. Actually, two things that happened about a week and a half ago. Um, there was. Let me pull them both up so I can have them. So let's see. I'm going to share these up real quick. So, two teens were connected to medical emergencies in Prosper, Texas, overnight at a graduation party. Um, so they said that they were arrested 2 teens in connection to an overnight graduation party where medical emergency left several high school students sick and sent 8 to the hospital. It says they arrested Kyle Muchinwada, 17 from Prosper, and Caesar Omana, 18 from Frisco, for manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance and a first-degree felony.
well, if it was controlled, they wouldn't have gotten caught, right? They would have had the situation under control, but clearly they didn't.
It says that they're still investigating. Authorities haven't said what caused the medical emergency, but some parents believe it might have been THC gummies, which this is probably what led to a portion of. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this again. You cannot go to the hospital for ingesting THC.
You can actually. People do hallucinate. It's like a real thing. It's
okay. Well, you can hallucinate, but you're not going to like die from it. It's not like a life or death situation.
Did you see? Kind of related, a little bit unrelated. This past week, Haribo, the gummy bear manufacturer.
Yes.
Did you see they had to do like a giant recall because they found cannabis in the gummies? Anyways, do continue.
Fine. Yeah, no, you're good. I did not expect that. So yeah, I mean, essentially they were the around, I think it was like after midnight. I think they said it was about 2:15 a.m. right here. Prosper ID's police asked for assistance at the 1600 block of Quake Road at a private overnight graduation party.
Oh, they had to break up a party.
Yes, they did.
Oh,
They're saying it's a medical emergency. What is it? This is what happened. We don't know what our kids took, and somebody is giving us, and nobody's giving us answers. Question, Thomas. We're hearing from other people that they took like an edible gummy. I'm guessing that's what it was, and we're just trying to figure out what it was. Here's the thing, though: it's they have other substances that they can put into edible forms.
they do. I will say from personal experience, not my personal, other people's personal. I had a friend. I don't know, man. It might have been like 6, 7 years ago now. They definitely had too much of a highly concentrated edible. It was an edible that was like produced by a legitimate manufacturer in Colorado, and he brought it back. He had too much of it, and he basically had like a psychotic breakdown, and he had to go to the ER to just basically get pumped with fluids just to make sure that like he thought his heart was stopping.
Oh
So
my god!
yeah, and no, Daddy streaming. I see the friends in air quotes. It wasn't me. It was not me. This was a friend who was having fun in downtown Austin, and I was not there. But the next day, I heard the full story, and he legitimately had like a psychotic break, and he thought he was having heart palpitations. He was legitimately fine. He just got way too high, hundreds of milligrams straight to the dome.
See, kids nowadays, man, like they can't. It's like
Yeah.
whether or not you do it or not, kids are always looking for like the higher of the highest thing that they've already done.
And remember, your body processes it differently when you eat it versus when you inhale.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
your body's metabolizing it. It's not just
Yeah.
smoke inhalation. Your body's metabolizing it. The other thing, this one kind of had like a good aspect to it, but an 18-year-old turns himself in after a hit and run that injured a Louisville teen. So this happened back in May 23rd. He turned himself in to police and is charged with collision involving serious bodily injury. The 17-year-old John Chambers, a Marcus High School junior, was seriously hurt. Chambers was taken off a ventilator on Monday, but we have not received any updates on his condition since then.
That's not good. We took him off the ventilator, but we have no updates. Who knows?
um, he's been so the Cameron Reynoso has been identified as the driver and is now charged with a collision involving serious bodily injury. His bond is set at $6,000. So they're charging him with that, but they didn't charge him with. It doesn't seem like they did anything about the hit and run. I guess since he turned himself in, they were like, okay. But this was the team that was hit. Let's see.
Now, the one story I'm kind of surprised you didn't lead off with because it was in your neck of the woods. The whole Lake Grapevine thing. Did you see that with the jet ski? And
Oh yeah. So I'll be
yeah,
honest with you.
it was a brief manhunt for this person.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I don't know if you can find it real quick, but there
Oh,
was.
dude, I can find it because the governor of Texas tweeted about it saying, "I hope you
Oh
like the
yeah.
death penalty."
Here, I'll let you pull that up there if you want to.
Yeah, let me go into my bookmarks here and find that good old Greg Abbott tweet.
It was kind of insane because it's like she was literally at the beach. People were trying to stop her, and
Yeah,
she was just like, "No, I don't care." But it's like you hurt somebody like
let me
severely.
let me play the video first, and then I'll follow it up with the little
Yeah.
comment from the governor.
18-year-old Ava Moore was kayaking at Lake Grapevine when police say that she was struck and killed by a jet ski with 2 women on it. Authorities were looking for the driver of that jet ski, who they say fled the scene by jumping into a vehicle with a man at the park. As mentioned, we do know that police have Daikerlin Alejandra Gonzalez in custody, the suspect that they believe is tied to the death of Moore. Earlier today, I spoke to Ava's basketball coach at the Air Force Prep Academy and also one of her teammates. They say that she had just finished at the academy and was headed to basic training in a few weeks. They're obviously heartbroken by her death.
Well, there's a lot of sadness, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. Obviously, none of us saw it coming, but and then it goes to anger, anger that they left, anger that they didn't even see if she was okay.
So she just cared about not only her
Can I-
teammates but her whole
So we'll go ahead and play it. We'll
Yeah.
talk afterwards. Go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play it.
country, and I think that's like the hardest part is that she really was going to be a difference maker in protecting us and serving us, and it's just hard knowing that she's out.
So, yes, Daddy Stream is talking about it in the chat as
Yeah.
well. But like, this was an individual who had enlisted, and I believe it was the Navy,
Yeah.
and they were getting ready to go off for basic, and they were kayaking on Lake Grapevine. To my understanding, definitely do your own research on this. This individual who was jet skiing with another woman basically like head-on collisioned with them, and she ended up dying because of it, but she fled the scene. Long story short, here's the post on X from the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, saying, "Welcome to Texas. Here's your death penalty." Yikes.
Here's the thing. So I know we have a couple stories of things that are happening right now because
You see the comment right below this? Hang on.
that's exactly where I was going. And I didn't even see that.
Yikes.
For everyone who knows, I didn't even see that.
I didn't either. It was hidden behind our faces until I just scrolled down.
Granted, again, the Carmelo Anthony aspect is still ongoing. Like, we don't know what's happening. We don't know when the trial is supposed to start this month. That's all we know. But for a lot of people saying how like he was in the wrong and everything like that, and he's getting charged with all this other kind of stuff. But then you have an illegal immigrant who is getting a worse sentence for killing an African American person who it's just as sad. Like, she
We're just killing a person. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it doesn't even
Killing a
matter.
person.
But it's just like, it's nice to see that they're like, it's not like they're just picking one way or the other kind of thing. Like, they're actually now showing everything on the news. Like, no matter what ethnicity you are, no matter where you come from, they're not cherry picking stories to show people to get people to go against somebody else. So and we've been seeing that more and more this year, you know, since, you know, the power shift, quote unquote, I guess, if you will. But yeah, I'll be honest, like, an illegal immigrant that does that, like, yeah, I'll be like, I know Texas does have the death penalty, and we've gotten away from that. I'll be honest. You know, no one ever just deserves to die, but
it's such a moral dilemma.
It is a moral dilemma, you know, being in faith and everything. It's like, you don't ever want someone to die, but it's like, she knowingly did that. She didn't even try to stay around and accept responsibility and say it was an accident or whatever the case. And what if it wasn't? You know, what if she knew? What if she saw her there and she was still going? Like, you know, there's so much that we still don't know in that story, but the fact remains, though, that she ran off. Like, people caught her, she ran off, and then she got arrested later on. That didn't look good on anything. And I'll be honest, like, I don't know how you can get past that, you know, being the family of that teenager, you know.
Meanwhile, in Europe, are you aware of the cheese run? Are you familiar with this?
I am.
Look at this guy.
That man is dead. Like, I've seen this, but it's just so
it is insane.
Thing is, look, that's probably the most insane thing that they do.
Yeah. I mean, I know we had a revolution over like a tea tax and a postage tax and all these other taxes, but we had to get away from whatever that was. That's not healthy for your brain activity. The wild thing is the guy we saw who took the big tumble, he walked away from it. He walked away.
Yeah.
He might have had some CTE, but walked away from it.
No, I mean, I don't have a topic on taxes, but isn't it funny how when it comes to taxes, we get a paycheck, it's already taxed.
Yeah.
You go to buy goods, you get taxed again.
Yeah.
And then you buy a home. Guess what you have to pay?
Taxes. Property taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Property, school zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why is this like... we fought to not have to pay a 2% tax, and now I'm pretty sure I've seen like news stations say that we're at like a 30, like it was like a 22% tax rate almost kind of thing. Like,
it's something.
Like, nationally, it's up there.
We're exponentially greater than what caused the American Revolution.
Exactly.
Even if you adjust for inflation, like, we're exponentially way more taxed than we were.
And I'm like, man, are we overdue for another revolution?
Well, the CIA would love to help alleviate that concern through the mass media, but you're not wrong. I mean, there is, I think in recent history, there has been legitimate concern. So not to have like, I don't know if revisionist history is the right term, but what if, let's play what ifs for a second.
All right.
What if Trump had gotten shot in the head?
Bro, I feel like if he would have gotten shot in the head, that would have been civil war. Like, I'm not even I'm not even kidding. Like, people think that the whole January 6th thing was set up, and which it was. Like, I'm not. I'll be that person to say it.
Yeah, I think it definitely was. You had that individual who the FBI still knows was an informant, and they say they cannot confirm nor deny what they knew about that situation. There definitely was some manipulation going on in there. And then, you know how they say Hollywood or art mimics reality, and Hollywood can be
Right.
predictive in some extents. You had that Revolution movie that came out, the American Civil War. I say Revolution, the American Civil War movie that came out about how you had like Texas and this like Southern conglomerate, and then you had like the new Republic of California, and then you had like the old Union. A lot of it didn't make sense, but
Right.
predictive programming.
Daddy Streaming said the next revolution will be if the president tries to run for another term. He has openly like, here's the thing, he debunked it. Like, he straight up came out and said, like, I'm not planning on running for another term. But that does not mean he can't run for vice president. And then if the new president happens to get impeached or something happens and he has to take over presidency, technically speaking, he could get a third term that way.
You could also see the current sitting president get Canada to become the 51st state
He's still
of
on
these United States of America. Headline from the New York Post says Trump claims Canada is considering becoming 51st U.S. state in exchange for Golden Dome protection.
That'd be the largest state, not by population, but by just sheer.
I feel like they divided up a little bit. You know how like
They
OG
would have
Texas
to,
was, yeah. So it says President Trump claimed this past Tuesday that Canada is considering becoming the 51st state in exchange for being included within his Golden Dome missile defense program. Trump made the claim hours after King Charles III gave a thinly veiled rebuke of the U.S. president's attempt to annex Canada in a speech to the Ottawa Parliament. Quote, I told Canada, which very much wants to be part of our fabulous Golden Dome system, that it will cost $61 billion if they remain a separate but unequal nation, but will cost $0 if they become our cherished 51st state. That's a direct quote from Trump, age 78, on Truth Social. So, I don't think Canada's going to become a state. Let's be honest here. I feel like there's too many hoops to jump through. But it is interesting that we're getting a Golden Dome. I mean, heck, missile defense system, you know? And if Canada wants, maybe it's a good revenue stream if Canada wants protection.
For the low price of $1 million a year, you can have this.
Well, it says $61 billion, which honestly, that sounds kind of low, you know? Let's get them the White Glove package, you know? Why not?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of like not really rapid fire these because some of these we can't actually talk about in a sense.
Yeah.
So let me pull this up here if it'll actually allow me to do.
And while you do that, I just once again really want to thank our sponsor for this 24-hour live stream podcast, to Applebee's. Eating good in the neighborhood. Try their new, what's new on the menu over there?
Not a daggum thing.
Try their resurgence of the Bourbon Street chicken and shrimp. That cast iron is guaranteed to cause a lawsuit. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Low-key.
God, that's a bold photo of Rogan right there. Look at that.
That is, yes. But apparently Joe Rogan's back in church.
Oh, I did see stuff about this. One of his guests he had on, apparently disciple to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says back in January, a popular Canadian evangelical apologist named Wesley Huff appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience in what has become a momentous cultural event among young conservative Christians. Joe Rogan, the 57-year-old stand-up comedian turned UFC commentator, talked about faith on one of the most well-known podcasts in the country, appeared to represent a growing fervor of conservative men, celebrities, and tech bros leaning toward a religion. A YouTube video of the conversation garnered 6.8 million views.
And not to interrupt real quick, we all have to take a moment. Do you see the question about, is your vision as sharp as you think? Riley, I need you to answer the question in your head real quick. We're all going to answer out loud here. Those of you in the chat, please participate in this vision test as well. We're all going to answer out loud or in the chat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I see the number
7.
Cool. You and I both passed. We'll see what people in the chat put. A little bit of a disconnect in the timing there, but you may continue.
So kind of essentially, they went through the whole thing. They kind of had like on and off conversations and everything since then. But on Huff, on the Sola Media Christian podcast, said I can tell you for a fact that he's attending church, and that has been a consistent thing. So essentially, he's been attending since January when all this came out. He's continuing to maintain that level of communication and talk with Rogan and Huff, talking back and forth. Apparently, he's been attending church service in Austin. I'll be honest, I didn't know Joe Rogan lived in Texas.
Oh, you did? Yo, he's in Austin.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He has a comedy, the Mothership comedy room on 6th Street.
Okay. Well, if we ever come down there, we'll have to go check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially he's been attending church regularly. And I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't see that coming, kind of, because I mean, if you look back throughout Joe Rogan's history and just like all the guests that he's had on his podcast, he never really, I mean, he talked about it, but he never expressed that as his faith or as his aspect or his way of living. But that is,
it's got to be kind of hard to go to church if you're Joe Rogan. Think about it's like a celebrity going to church, right? When probably at least a quarter of the congregation is going to immediately be aware of who you are, and probably like, I don't know, maybe people could be chill and treat him as like a normal human, but at the same time, like if you were sitting in a church service and you turn over and you're like, oh hey, that's Joe Rogan right there, wouldn't you want to talk to him a little bit? Now multiply that out, depends on the size of the church, of course, but
I mean, either way, Joe Rogan, if you're listening to this right now, proud of you, happy for you, hope it all works out. I know we're a very, very, very small podcast compared to the millions of people that you have that watch, but if this ever comes across your feed in any shape, form, or fashion, congratulations, proud of you.
I really hope at some point his podcast can get to the same level of caliber that ours can, because I really want him to experience Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood. Also, congratulations to Dana in the chat. Dana guessed 7. I say guessed. Her vision checks out. She chose the number 7 in our vision test, so she passes. She doesn't have to go to the optometrist for another 6 months.
Right. I'm seeing Daddy Sherman put stuff in the chat, and I'm trying to understand what the stuff is that he's putting in the chat. I kind of don't. It could just be my old brain. I don't know.
I mean, it's gang references.
It could be. I don't know.
I think they're supposed to be emojis, but they're not showing up properly.
As emojis.
Because I think JD, look, I remember 5 episodes ago when we did the other live stream, there was like a JD Vance emoji, and then the cat happy, I guess it's like a happy cat.
It might be like a setting on our end. I don't know. We'll have to.
It might be. Yeah, either that or gang references. One of the two.
Did you also know that GameStop purchased 4,710 Bitcoins?
They did indeed, and their stock tanked because of manipulation.
Yep.
I've been following that stock very heavy for the past 5 years. So
Bitcoin?
You can look. No, well, Bitcoin too, but if you look at GameStop 5 years ago, you'll know why I've been following it.
Oh well, yeah, because GameStop was the thing, but now they're not even a thing anymore.
They're still worth more than they were 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, I mean they're worth more now, but here's the I don't know. That's just the thing is I'm all digital now, so it's like I don't ever have a reason to go back to a GameStop. I don't know. I enjoy going into them every so often, just looking around, checking out all the stuff they got, but it's just like I have no.
This is what I'm talking about.
So what would you interpret that as then?
Stock manipulation. Too many hedge funds were shorting the stock, and so people took advantage of it, and they loaded the money truck on there.
I do remember that happening.
Yep.
Not just with GameStop, but
then you see ever since then?
It's just been kind of steady back and forth.
But it's never gone back to its normal levels.
No.
Just saying.
Let me ask you a question. If you ever saw a McDonald's that was just in a random location, but you didn't know why it was there, what would you think?
I think it's either an up-and-coming area, and McDonald's is truly ahead of their time, Or there has to be some kind of reason. There's got to, maybe it's on like a highway in the middle of nowhere. Open a store in the middle of, conspiracy theories circulate after McDonald's opens store in the middle of nowhere without electricity. Wait, the store location doesn't have electricity?
Nope. And this was actually back in November of 2024.
I could see it being in the middle of nowhere if it's off of a road that gets travelers to and from like different cities. Like, you know, if it's out in the middle of nowhere, but it's between, even if it's like hours between two cities, you still get the vehicle traffic, but without electricity. That's a weird one.
So it says this McDonald's restaurant recently opened at 8075, I guess that's Avenue Marcel Villeneuve in Laval, Canada, is seemingly running exclusively off a generator after being dropped off in the middle of a farm field.
Oh wait, let's look that up. You know, if you hover over that, it's like let's grab that address. Let's go look that up in Google Maps real quick. Let's see where this is at. That is interesting. I wonder if they built it somewhere where there was power and then they got dropped from power, so now they have to run off of electricity, or electricity, run off of a generator.
Okay, well that's not a
See,
I would say that had to have all been built up afterwards then, because
or no, maybe not. I mean, maybe is it just on that side of the road? It's not part of the local municipality.
It could be, because you look at all that.
Yeah, that's all just open, unincorporated farmland potentially.
Low key, they were just like stealing the power from all these houses.
McDonald's is interesting because I don't know if this is still true to this day, but historically, the way their like business operates is McDonald's, the company, owns the land, the real estate that the restaurant sits on, but then the franchisee owns the building and the actual franchise that sits on top of it.
Right. I've seen that movie Founders. I know how this works.
Yeah, no, but it's an interesting business model because not every like fast food or restaurant operates that way.
Right.
You'll have to wonder, did McDonald's had to have seen something in that land, right, for them to acquire it? Unless because it is in the middle of nowhere, it might have been dirt cheap, really.
It could have been. And you have to think the neighborhood that's right there, everyone's going to be like, they want easy food, so the business would be good. But
got to fatten up them Canadians. Dude, if they're going to be the 51st state, got to fatten them up a little bit.
See, that's still like, this country, man. This country.
The way Houston holds down the South, the way Atlanta holds down the South, we got to have Quebec got to hold down the North. We got to button this thing up.
Yeah, I mean, I still got plenty more. I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to kind of pull up.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Are you aware that King of the Hill is coming back? I think we talked about this, right?
Yes, we did. I have not seen what Bobby looks like. Oh, okay, there's Bobby.
So here's Bobby, and also the synopsis of the show. So they dropped. I'm not going to play the audio because it's copywritten. You can see they actually dropped the new opening, so you can see everyone's a little bit older. I'll show it here in a little bit, but Hank and Peggy, they move away.
Yeah,
do you know where they moved away to?
No.
Saudi Arabia. And then they had this guy move in. Who knows who this guy is? And then he moves away because Hank and Peggy come back. Bobby is apparently a chef or a restaurateur in Dallas. Ooh, hope I didn't get the copyright on that one. But I remember I saved in here somewhere. Here we go. The official synopsis for the new King of the Hill revival. After years of working a propane job in Saudi Arabia to earn their retirement nest egg, Hank and Peggy Hill return to a changed Arlen, Texas, to reconnect with old friends Dale, Boomhauer, and Bill. Meanwhile, Bobby is living his dream as a chef in Dallas and enjoying his 20s with his former classmates Connie, Joseph, and Con. Shane? Wait, who is that? Shane? I know who Connie and Joseph are. Who's Shane?
That's
Connie. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, no, that's the Asian family.
No, that's Connie.
No, Connie's his dad.
Connie's not his dad. No, Hank is his dad. Cotton is the grandfather. Cotton died in the OG show.
Hold on.
Connie, I'm gonna mispronounce it, but it sounds like sousaphone. Who's Shane? Because Joseph is.
Oh no, Connie was the girl, the daughter.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
Laotian. She's a Laotian girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And then Joseph is John Redcorn. Dale's son. It's John Redcorn though. And then, which is the other thing, it still shows John Redcorn in the opening. So
Shane was the other guy, I think. Like the
other
other
guy.
one that kind of liked Connie as well.
That liked Connie as well. Here, I'm gonna.
Like I can pull it up. But...
Oh, him.
Yeah.
I remember him. Oh, okay. It's this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know you.
Yes.
That's my purse.
Yes, I remember this now. Okay. So yeah, King of the Hill's coming back this summer. That's gonna be a fun watch. The other thing, there's a couple of things that actually happened. Let's see here. I remember seeing that. Yeah, buy now, pay later. You know Klarna? Have you heard of Klarna?
Yes.
We talked about this on a former podcast episode where Klarna was allowing DoorDash to basically finance their DoorDash orders, right? So the buy now, pay later app Klarna has said its net loss for the first 3 months of 2025 totaled $99 million, significantly worse than the $47 million loss and reported a year ago due to unpaid bills by users. And of course, Dave Ramsey going, so you built a business lending to people who can't afford to buy stuff, and now you're $99 million down because they can't pay you back.
Dude, I'm like, that's not a little bit of money. Like that's a lot of money. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Daddy Sherman didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah.
I am legitimately like, I'm not scared, but like, dude, what is going to happen when like all these student loan debt payments, like when they start coming to collect, like all these businesses that have all these buildings, like you were just like talking about down in Austin, like all these empty skyscrapers that these offices aren't even working anymore. What's going to happen when all that money comes to be collected and it's not there?
I don't know, but what I do know is I will be at my local Applebee's eating good in the hood, enjoying $1 Pabst Blue Ribbon and happy hour appetizers late night.
Did you know that it's not $1 anymore?
I'm sure adjusted for inflation was $2.
It's $2 now for a pint, and now they don't even just do pints. So like yay big, like one of these right here. It's like you can buy a small self pitcher that will fill up like 3 mugs for you, and I think that's like $5 or something like that.
I feel like if you're buying a pitcher for yourself, there's more conversations that need to be had.
Oh, dude, but when I worked way back in the day, you could actually buy full pitchers like bigger than those. Like these are actually branded Pabst Blue Ribbon pitchers, and that you could buy them, and it's like $5 for it, and it fills up like 3.5 mugs, give or take.
Yeah,
insane.
Do you remember when they saw UFOs during an NFL game?
I want you to explain that to me, Dr. Spock. I'm afraid to. This is sort of a Twilight Zone football game.
Cowboys and the Steelers.
Those were some kind of, I don't know.
Back in the day. I think it's the 70s.
Uh-huh.
I'll look it up here afterwards. It's in the caption.
Is that foreshadowing?
Listen to the commentators.
Some kind of a illusion. I hope we get another look at him. If you ever do get a coaching job, though, I'd like to be hired just to bed check and do things that are important around the training facility. You'd be my first employee. There it is. Now, what is that? You keep saying, take us to your leader. I don't know. Now, that's another guy I'm going to hire, whoever's responsible for that. Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues.
They had to postpone the game because they didn't know what was flying around. This was 1979, a game in Minnesota. But I don't know. That looked like the Cowboys and the Steelers. I don't know. Maybe it was a playoff game for some reason.
Could be.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is on here? Oh, yeah. One of the greatest headlines of our time. Nathan Fielder pilots full Boeing 737 plane after exploiting licensing loophole and dodging autism diagnosis. And then you have the whole concern. There's a whole thread about this, but if you want a rabbit hole to go down, look into why we had the Iraq War in the early 2000s. It looks like the CIA was going after the body of Gilgamesh, potentially. There's also a weird email from Hillary Clinton that got found whenever they scrubbed her database talking about where's the body of Gilgamesh.
Of course there was. Of course
yeah.
there was something involving her.
Yeah, it's a real concern. And then you have the what was it? The giant of Kondalesh. They found there's a military story about a giant that they had to shoot down over in Afghanistan, I believe. But yeah. Oh yeah. Good news, I guess. Did you see Metro Boomin might be working with the WWE to create some new entrance theme songs?
Yeah.
Could be kind of hype. Metro Boomin's a good producer.
Yeah.
Could be doing the Lord's work. And then you have Babyhead Cemetery in Texas. Have you ever been to Babyhead Cemetery?
No.
I haven't either. That's fair enough. It says, according to local oral tradition, the name Babyhead was given to the mountain in this area in the 1850s when a small child was killed by Indians and it remains left on the mountain. A local creek also carried the name, and a pioneer community founded in the 1870s became known as Babyhead. The oldest documented grave here is that of another child, Jody May McNeely, who died on New Year's Day, 1884. The cemetery is the last physical reminder of the Babyhead community, which once boasted numerous homes, farms, and businesses. You know what they didn't have, though, unfortunately? Applebee's, man. They did not have an Applebee's. It's really unfortunate.
They couldn't eat good in that hood.
What you got?
So you did see I had something on here about OpenAI.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to understand. I saw a very, very short video where it showed both of them talking to each other. I think it was more so like a commercial aspect, but they were talking to each other in like a bar setting, and then they were talking about what to expect, or at least a little bit of what to expect. I don't know all the details of it. Maybe you could shed some light on this, but OpenAI is buying IO, a hardware company founded by former Apple design chief Jony Ive and several other former engineers of his time there, including Scott Cannon, Evans Hankey, and Tang Tan. That's a funny name. I'm sorry, but
you're not wrong.
Yeah, we can also talk about that too as soon as we're done. Daddy streaming the recent random pardons of the Chisleys and maybe Diddy.
The Chrisleys.
Or the Chrisleys, my bad,
yeah.
Chrisleys. Because I did see that. I just didn't look into it. But I never watched the show, but I know of the family.
Well, I saw 50 Cent is going to go talk with Trump about the Diddy situation, because 50 Cent is one of those that goes way back of kind of accusing Diddy of being a homosexual.
Yeah.
And so 50 Cent's been ahead of his time in terms of uncovering this dark, dubious underbelly of the rap industry, or really just, for all we know, Diddy might have been a CIA operative that got burned in the process. Like, who knows?
Well, we'll save that for the very end, because I have some things that we could talk about on that, like as far as like my thoughts, and I want to share about some stuff on there. I won't be joining OpenAI, but his design firm LoveFrom will continue to be independent, but they will take over design for all OpenAI, including its software, in a deal valued at nearly $6.5 billion. Did you know that this guy actually doesn't he came out and said he doesn't receive a single dime from any of his OpenAI stuff?
Yeah, but he's got like a lot of internal shares with the company.
He does.
The minute they go public, or the minute they raise capital, he's a multi-billionaire. He's on Elon Musk level of net worth. So
it's insane.
Yeah,
But all this is set to launch in 2026. The first product isn't intended to be an iPhone killer, though. In the same way that the smartphone didn't make the laptop go away, I don't think our first thing is going to make the smartphone go away. But it is totally a kind of a new thing. So again, I don't know what all the devices and stuff they're thinking about, but I don't know if you have any information that you possibly might.
No, that's the thing. Nobody technically knows. They came out with this trailer love story video with Sam Altman and this other guy, and it's some nonsense. It's just some it's that Sam and Johnny introduce IO. It's just I mean, maybe they come out with a device. I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to come out with an iPhone killer in the next decade.
No,
I think it takes a lot. I mean, the other thing is you have to remember with Android devices, Android powers 3/4 of the entire globe. Yes, half of Americans have iPhones, but 3/4 of the globe have Android phones. So I don't think whatever this device is, like, it's going to have a niche following. And yeah, it might take some American market share, no more than like 30% though. I don't see it. It would be intriguing, but like,
I think of it kind of like you have your Android and iPhone, but then I also think of it as kind of like during that time when iPhone started becoming a thing and you had your Androids and stuff.
well, iPhone was the first one, if you think about it.
Well, yeah.
And Android existed before Google bought it. So Android was like its own individual thing, and then Google bought them, and that's when it really took off.
But think about it like the BlackBerry. Like the BlackBerry was kind of like that in between. Like you had other, like they haven't come out with like a BlackBerry touchscreen phone, I don't think.
BlackBerry still exists.
I know it still exists, but I just don't know.
But like BlackBerry had its heyday, like, I don't know, 2000 to 2007, 2008, right before the iPhone came out. BlackBerry definitely was very relevant. They're still around. But you're right. This could be like a transitionary period. It may not even be a phone. It could be glasses. It could be a wearable of some kind. It may not be technically like a phone.
Well, so, I'm actually like, I'm considering it. Like, I'm not spending the money on them obviously right now, but I've been intrigued about those Meta glasses.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could be very useful just in your day-to-day activities. Like, you're trying to, like, if I'm working or if I'm going to a showing or something like that, like, and I forget parts of the conversation, like, I can just, I would have those recording while I'm going through that showing and just, like, talking to the person, walking through the house, different things like that. And I can go back and, like, rewatch what I saw.
So let me ask you this. Let me dig deep and poke holes in this. What's different than hit record on your iPhone?
That's true, but I don't know if I tried that before and the audio just wasn't, I don't know.
Well, probably because you had it in your pocket. If you wear it like on your wrist or something.
I kept it on which that's another reason why, you know, like I've kind of like, I've thought about getting an Apple Watch, but I haven't convinced myself yet to get one. It's kind of hard for me to convince myself to get one. But that's a story for another time. But I don't know, you know, like I've seen videos, like, of course it's like kind of clickbaity stuff, but I've seen videos like the future of smartphones is just, instead of it being like a physical, like hard phone like this, it's just, all it is just a holographic screen essentially. Like it's like this little like metal bar and you pull it apart and it's like a holographic screen. Or I've seen people that have like those bracelets that have just like lights that come out of it, but it's like your phone is actually on your wrist and it's just like you can just do everything you need to do there. I've seen like I said, it's not AI generated videos. I saw these a long time ago, but I don't know. It's just, it's interesting to see kind of where they're going to go with all of this. We have so many AI like tools out there that they, you know, they all incorporate into your daily life, but it's just, you know, what works best for you essentially.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. You're spot on. You know what I'm really excited to see, actually, like legitimately excited. Our friends over at Applebee's. All you can eat is back for only $15.99 in your local hood. Limited time only. Product is limited. Please go in, check them out. Tell them Unscripted Company sent you. Thanks again to our sponsors, Applebee's.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you seen that most recent McDonald's commercial regarding the chicken strips?
Dude, I don't see that many commercials anymore. So no, I haven't. Like,
okay, well, like if you've seen it as like, so they've got a new chicken strip. Hold on.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna just.
Well, I just go to McDonald's.com.
Well, no, because you need to see the commercial.
The McCrispy strips.
Yes.
Why can't they just call them chicken strips? They gotta be McCrispy. If you eat the McCrispy, do you get the McDumps? How does that work?
No. You'll see.
Oh.
I don't know.
Breakfast comes first. Anyways.
Let me see if I can find it, then I'll show you. If I can't find it, I'm not going to show, but I'm trying to see if.
Since when did McDonald's become a fashion design house?
Dude, I don't know, man.
This is what happens when you go to McDonald's.com. What is it? They're like designing clothes now? I'm confused. Maybe they're like giving money, similar to like the Ronald McDonald House. But the McD's, best burgers ever. Hamburger. What is about us? Tell me about McDonald's. Our story starts with one man. You know, this is some bullshit. This is not nice to our sponsors of this episode, Applebee's. You know, does Applebee's have an about section? I didn't even think to look at that.
I don't know.
We're about to find out. Here. We're about to go on this adventure together. Here. I want everyone to see. All you can eat is back, first of all. Then if we scroll down, look at this classic broccoli chicken Alfredo. This is delicious food. So good. Thank you to our sponsors yet again. They're doing good in the hood. Look at this. Alex's lemonade stand. Foundation for childhood cancer. Doing great work. Great work, Applebee's. Let's see here. About us. Tell me about Applebee's. Our great corporate sponsors for this week's 24-hour live stream. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar is the place to be in the neighborhood. Our guests know they can always count on us for delicious and affordable meals, refreshing and fun drinks, and a come-as-you-are welcoming environment. As one of the world's largest casual dining brands, Applebee's is a go-to dining destination in neighborhoods throughout the United States and abroad. From our very first restaurant in Decatur, Georgia, to more than 1,500 locations and 11 countries and territories today. Not only countries, they are in territories. Applebee's guests can count on eating good in the neighborhood, trademarked. They have values, providing value in abundance. That explains the Long Island iced teas by the pitcher.
I can't find it.
It's okay.
Fine.
Probably
Continue
better
on.
that way. Probably better.
Yeah.
Like, what are the FAQs? What are the frequently asked questions for Applebee's.com?
Daddy Stream is supporting us right now. He's going to tweet at Applebee's. They could sponsor us. Imagine if that was the one sponsor we got was Applebee's.
Hey, I'll eat good in the hood. W-2 questions. If you are a franchisee restaurant team member with questions regarding your W-2, please call your franchise main number or home office for assistance. Don't
check
bother
out
us.
Unscripted Company.
Can I order food items by phone? Yes. Yes, you can. Interesting. Anyways, I digress.
No, you're good. So while we're on the technology aspect, did you know that coming soon, Apple devices are going to have brand control accessibility features?
Yeah. I'm waiting on the new Sell Your Soul feature.
Just so y'all know, I do have an iPhone, but I do not plan on letting myself get, brain control or brain
Yet.
rot.
This time next week on the next live stream, Riley will be doing a live brain implant.
No.
Yes.
Now I'm not getting the mark of the beast. I'm just going to say that
Thanks
right
to our corporate sponsors, Applebee's, we will provide enough Long Island iced tea pitchers to convince Riley that this is a good idea.
So apparently how they're doing it, or what they're thinking about doing, is the company has partnered with Synchron, which has been working with other companies, including Amazon, on ways to make devices more accessible. Synchron makes an implant called Stentrode that is implanted on in a vein on the brain's motor cortex. Once implanted, the Stentrode can read brain signals and translate that to movement on devices including iPhones, iPads, and Apple Vision Pro's VR headset. As we saw last year, a patient with ALS testing the Synchron technology was able to navigate menus in the Vision Pro device and use it to experience the Swiss Alps in VR. Technology could become more widely available to people with paralysis. So they're kind of targeting people with motor functions. So ALS, this person says paralysis, maybe MS in certain cases, like just people with motor function.
Maybe they ate too many entrees at Applebee's, things like that.
Hey man, drink too many of them dollar margaritas.
Happens.
But it says Apple recognizes social and business benefits of building inclusive products, and we're seeing an uptick in other industries focusing on inclusivity, like gaming. Dude, that defeats the whole purpose. Though it's like if I got one of those implanted in my head, I could literally just sit here and I'm just gaming as I'm just sitting here and just telling my brain to do everything.
Wait till you have a condition where you have like post-gaming PTSD.
I don't think that'll happen unless GTA 6 has it. Then because I am so excited. I'll be honest, I'm excited for GTA 6 to come out. Like I played GTA 5, like I've done all the things. I kind of just I stopped playing years and years ago. But I'm like, dude, GTA 6, if it even lives up to the hype that it's creating right now and just everything that it's showing that could possibly be included in this game, I'm excited for that hype. I'm ready for that game. I'm not gonna buy it on PS5. I'm just gonna wait for the PC version to come out, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially they're kind of just waiting on all of that. Other Apple announcements: accessibility and nutrition labels in the App Store will show accessibility features in games and other apps, and magnifier tool for Mac. Braille access through compatible Braille devices, and accessibility reader mode across iOS. Live captions for Apple Watch, enhanced view on Vision Pro, and other features and updates are listed on its blog. So, only available at GameStop and Applebee's. Come in and get your 2 for $400, and you get a free implant from the Apple.
Yeah, you can get some of the what do they call it? Shark cards. You can get a shark card with the purchase of 5 Long Islands, but you have to eat them and drink them all in one sitting. It's kind of a conditionary thing, but
yeah. I mean, I still got things we could talk about, and then we can wrap it all up with the Chrisleys and the Diddy scandals.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you have anything else that you.
Well, the next thing is a little teaser. Kid Cudi says Diddy broke into his home and unwrapped his family's Christmas presents back in 2011. Imagine being Kid Cudi's kid.
That picture of Diddy just tells 1,000 stories right there.
You're gonna see that when you're sleeping later tonight.
God no.
That's why you should go to Applebee's.
I'm gonna have sleep paralysis, and Diddy's just gonna be standing there in front of my bed instead of some horror monster.
You could.
So yeah. Just a couple things. Actually, all these can kind of 3 out of these 4 things can kind of tie in together. But I'll start off with this one right here. Let me find it real quick. Did you know this was way back like years ago that this happened, but I don't know why I'm all of a sudden just seeing stories about it now. But apparently, Uganda unveils monumental gold discovery, over 31 million tons found, valued at $12 trillion.
Oh yeah, I've been making money off of that since they announced it. Have you not gotten your share of Ugandan gold?
Nope.
Your trusted window into the heartbeat of the continent.
But
we're thrilled you're here. And today, Uganda has unearthed a treasure trove deep within its soil.
Yeah.
We've all gotten some of this. Have you not?
History offers.
What if you can create your own website?
Well, I'm not watching an ad here.
But what if you could create your own website?
I wouldn't use. Well, I don't know. You
can create your own boneless wing flavor over at Applebee's. Eating good in the hood.
Don't know how good that wing flavor would taste if you just mix, the 4 flavors they've got, because they don't have much else.
The mystery flavor.
Mystery flavor.
But yeah, it's it's kind of wild because I think you have periods of time where scientists, the general public, they assume, oh yeah, we found all the minerals that are out there, and then boom, there's like a pocket of something, pocket of gold, pocket of uranium, pocket of lithium, pocket of Applebee's boneless wings. Like you have things that pop up randomly that really change global economic standing.
Right.
Because if you have a country like Uganda that finds all of this gold, that puts them higher up in the decision-making process for things from a geopolitical standpoint, unless
I was just about to say it. Go ahead.
Well, okay, Uganda could be the real Wakanda. First of all, that would be a dope rap lyric. I'll go out on a limb. Kanye, if you're listening, first of all, Applebee's, hit him up. Second of all, that's the title of the next single. Uganda is Wakanda. But I think since Uganda has found all of this gold, I think they need some freedom. And I think the U.S. military needs to go help them with some of this American freedom. In return, we'll graciously take some of this gold off their hands. But clearly, when you have gold deposits that surface like this, they need a dose of freedom. And who better to give them that freedom than the red, white, and blue? So we're going to divert probably most of our military resources that direction. We'll go save them. Don't worry.
Well, it's not even just that one. So I had something else that I'd saved, but I didn't put it on here though. But apparently we've been uncovering quite a few lithium deposits.
Oh, if I click a chat, I put it in the video. Oh, interesting. Sorry, Daddy Stream. I didn't mean to put that one in the chat. I won't put that one. I wanted to copy and paste something, and then it did that. I didn't know how to do that.
I didn't. Yeah. Hey, look, we're learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently they've been uncovering like a bunch of lithium deposits, and people are kind of speculating as to what's going to happen, what's going to go on with all of it. But I don't know. That kind of still. There's actually something like I kind of want to relate this to Landman. So, like I said, I've been watching like clips and different things from the show. And there's a clip in there where he's talking to this lawyer, and she's like, they're going to look at one of these wind turbines, and she was like saying that wind energy is the cleaner energy, which it is, but to get that wind energy, you have to use oil to lube it up. You have to use semi trucks to transport everything to the site. Then you have to use 400-foot tall cranes that also uses more diesel fuel to power everything. And then you have to have fuel and oil to make the cement, to put it underground, essentially everything. And it's so...
Don't worry about that. It was just me stupid in the
No,
chat.
you're good. I was just reading. I was like, so it begs the question. He was like, he said something in the show, Billy Bob Thornton did, and it kind of got me thinking. I didn't do any research on it, but it's like, he said that the funny thing is we're going to run out of oil and all these other natural fuels before they can even find a replacement for it. That's why companies like Exxon aren't even really trying to find anything, because they know that there's nothing else out there that can suffice for what we need.
Yeah.
Like he made a comment too that said that if everything went electrical, they wouldn't have the capabilities. It would take 30 years just to get everything connected to those to generate power for people. And so,
and Texas alone is already we're either number 1 or number 2. I forget. We go back and forth to California, but I think we're the number 1 wind producer in the United States.
Yes, I think so. Because when you get like west, like even close to like West Texas, like you see just for miles, you see the wind turbines.
Yeah, and we have them in Central Texas too. Like we see them all the time.
We have a couple here in Denton, but
I think Denton, the Denton Municipal Electric Company actually gets some of their stuff from wind energy. I remember seeing that at one point.
So that kind of just begs the question, like, how much longer do we have using everything that we have with all the pump jacks out there and everything doing its thing and pulling the oil up? How much more oil can we actually mine?
A lot.
Is there really that much out there? Like, just like not even just talking about
Texas alone, yeah. And then you have Alaska, and then you have like fracking in like Pennsylvania and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I've always been curious about that.
Yeah.
You know, like, when does it run out? Is it ever going to run out?
I mean, technically, yes, it will run out at one point in time, but you and I will be long gone at that point. West Texas alone, the Permian Basin is a treasure trove. You got Alaska's got some oil. And then like with like hydraulic fracturing practices, which highly controversial. I know Denton saw the brunt of this with like stuff going on there. I'm not saying I'm a fan of it or not, but like you can definitely, there's a lot of resources in the ground that we don't give ourselves credit for.
100%. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever been out to West Texas, but
it's hot.
It is hot. And it's also very cold. If you go in the wintertime, it's very cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for miles and miles and miles. You just see oil fields and mines and everything like that. It's insane. But yeah, so that's kind of the aspect on that. Again, kind of goes into like the construction as well, because they're constructing all that stuff, but also too, the construction for I-35 is going to be going on for another 8 to 10 years.
Yep.
And that's just the one that goes through Austin. They're currently working on the one here in Denton and DFW right now. But so the construction is part of the $4.5 billion I-35 Capital Express Central project in Austin, which began this month. So this part of it just began, whereas they're still working on it. They've been working on it up here in North Texas.
Yeah, they're literally going to bury I-35 through downtown Austin. Here's the question. Where do the cars go that currently sit on that road?
Have you seen other countries when they have to do road work like that? They have mobile highways that come in and they hydraulic press the highways up so people can drive over while they're doing the construction under it.
Yeah.
Why don't we have that?
Budget cuts.
Okay, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. They have enough money that they're just putting it towards things that we don't need. And Doge has exposed a lot of that.
Well, okay, realistically, why should we even be concerned with traffic when we can just, after work, go to Applebee's and enjoy some half-price boneless wings and $2 drafts and wait out the traffic? Thanks again to our sponsors, Applebee's.
Very well. But yeah, so, I mean, again, they're going to figure out a way to do it. Like they've messed up a whole bunch of the 35 already here for us, and somehow they're making it work. But then you have highways like 380 that they decided to bring in a bunch of businesses before they even did any road work. And now it's kind of biting them in the behind because they're still no closer to getting it done.
Yeah. Like how in Dallas, was it 635 that they buried and put a park on top of it?
Yes.
They're doing that through all of downtown Austin. Like
Yikes.
the heart of downtown. Because I don't know if you've like driven through, but like it's literally the heart of downtown.
I have only driven through Austin. I don't even know if I actually drove. I think I did drive through it because when we went to San Antonio like 3 years ago, 4 years, I think it was about 3 years ago. We drove through it, but we didn't stop anywhere. I think we stopped on the outskirts of Austin to get food, get gas, and then I think we were kind of like off the highway. We were right off 35 before you got into central Austin. But I haven't actually been around Austin, so I have no idea what it's like.
Yeah, it's just like it's the main artery. There's like 2 roads that go through Austin.
Yeah, I think of Austin just like a bigger version of Denton.
Kind of. That's the pain point. Is you're not wrong. Like just throw another million people on top of it.
Yeah, and so like but it's insane though because so for those of you, I'm just gonna kind of pull up a Google map real quick because just to kind of show you all this highway, just how everything works here and how everything's going in general. So I live here. So when you kind of look at the broad scope of it, so
show us exactly where you live though.
I'm good.
Come all the way in.
I'm good.
Okay.
So I live here. My counterpart lives right here. My co-host, he lives down here. So they're doing construction all the way on this highway, going all the way down through here. So it's
and they were doing it in Waco too. They just finished the Waco part. So
they're not done with it.
Oh,
they're not. So what they're trying to do, and I could be totally off base with this, but I'm pretty sure this is what they're trying to do. So going up to Gainesville, they're doing construction up there. Okay. They're expanding the 2 highways. I think they're trying to make either both of them still 2 lanes on each side or they're expanding them to 3. But when you look at it, it looks like they're trying to put an expressway.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Okay. That expressway, and here's what my speculation is, because when you take 35W up, you can either go straight up or you can exit off and take 35E and head towards DFW. I think what they're trying to do is the expressway that they've already gotten completed that starts like here-ish, give or take. That expressway, they're trying to take it all the way up to here into Denton and all the way up to Gainesville, and it'll probably stop once you get close to like the border for Oklahoma, because Texas has their toll roads and that's kind of how a lot of their funding is paid, is through the tolls. And then the expressway that goes out of Denton, like it starts probably about like right here. It only goes one way at a time. So it means like when they shut it down one way, it's opened up the other way. Well, they're building a secondary one now that starts in Dallas that goes all the way up. So now you're going to have 2, the same way that they have going towards Fort Worth. You have 2 of them now. And so eventually that's going to all get interconnected all the way up through Denton and into and I don't know if it's actually going to go all the way through Denton or if it's just going to kind of stop at the Lake Dallas area, give or take. So like once you kind of get into Denton, like they're not going to deal with all that construction. But from what I've seen, they're starting on the second aspect of the highway expansion in Denton. So who knows what they're actually going to do.
Soon every road will be a toll road. I'm looking forward to it.
I honestly foresee that happening.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing. They're not building new highways. They're building new toll roads.
Yeah. Or they're just redoing the old highways, because they actually did do that going through Lake Dallas and Louisville. Like they repaved with new black tar highways and stuff like that. Like they did do that.
This perspective right here is kind of wild. You can see where every major intersection is, because you can see where the concrete is. Do you notice that? Look around like Plano and all, like it's all grid, right?
Yeah.
But you can see where every intersection is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. And the thing is though so you have Dallas North Tollway. Wait, no. Which one is it?
That goes to Frisco, yeah.
Yeah, right here. Dallas North Tollway that goes all the way down. Then you have a Sam Rayburn Tollway that goes up to here. Eventually, I could see them doing Highway 75, and they're going to put a toll road on.
Oh, for sure.
Then you have President George Bush. So it's like literally any major highway that you want to take going through DFW, you're going to take Sam Rayburn.
They can get commuters.
That's Dallas North Tollway. Sam Rayburn. And then if that doesn't tickle your fancy, you have Highway 635 that goes through all those right now that also has an underground toll road that avoids all the traffic. And they're actually just now about to wrap up on all the construction that they've been doing here. They've been doing all this highway construction here to expand the roads and kind of, for the population growth and everything. And they're actually just now about to finish it all. The only highway that does not have a toll road on it yet is Highway 30. Highway 30 goes straight through Dallas, all the way through Dallas, and it does not have a toll road yet. But every aspect, the only other part of 35 that doesn't have an expressway, at least I don't think it does, is this part of 35 that goes down through Cedar Hill. Is it Cedar? No, DeSoto and Pecan Hill and all those. Yeah. That part of 35 doesn't have a full expressway like the other ones do yet, but I think they're getting ready to start working on it at some point.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where everything's at right now. And so the Waco stuff, I think they're going to expand that toll road and they're going to go all the way down here with it. I could see that happening, but the thing is it's already got 3 lanes on both sides of the highway. Once you get out of Fort Worth, like you're going to eventually come to a part where there's three lanes on the highway. So I don't foresee them needing that. And Daddy Streaming, we just need Elon to make a tunnel from DFW to Austin. Well, they're not going to make a tunnel, but they're going to have a high-speed rail that's going to take like 25 years to build. So
yeah, if that.
Yeah. So. You got anything else?
No, I know you wanted in on the Diddy stuff. Diddy and the Chrisleys.
Yeah, we can end on that.
Because Chrisley knows best.
Chrisley knows best. Just real quick, the only other, I had 2 things, but the other one we've kind of talked about it before. But apparently, a Hollywood star plans to build a $100 million movie studio in Texas, actually near Austin.
Yeah, in Bastrop.
Yep. So Zachary Levi says Hollywood's broken, so he's taken his business and his show business elsewhere. Good for him. Yeah. I appreciate that. Not a lot of people stand out in that. But he said 44-year-old actor who feels he's been frozen out of mainstream Hollywood due to his refusal to go woke is currently in the process of fundraising to fully build a film studio in Austin, Texas that would benefit from tariff-linked movie industry policies. And Donald Trump has spoken out about that and actually is in full support of him doing this.
I know Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, Dennis Quaid, I forget a few others. They're really lobbying the Texas legislature this year to bring back a lot of the film incentives. Because I don't know if you recall, but if you think about it, in the early 2000s, a lot of stuff was filmed in Texas.
Yeah.
Transformers, Friday Night Lights, like countless Spy Kids, countless stuff that was like filmed here. Yeah. It was because the state of Texas gave incentives, funding to make that happen. And we stopped doing that over the last couple of decades, which is why a lot of filming has left the state. But there are a lot of heavy hitters like McConaughey and Woody Harrelson alone, and Dennis Quaid. Heck,
Chris Pratt.
He's not from Texas though, is he?
He's not from Texas, but he's a very much so outspoken Christian.
Yeah.
And all the talk shows and stuff that he does.
Yeah.
And anytime he received an award, he would first and foremost, he would always thank,
No, I get that. Yeah. But in terms of like these are like
people from Texas.
Yeah, born and raised Texans that are trying to get Texas to be the focal point of a lot of filming and production.
I could see him joining in on that though, is what I'm saying. Like I could see him in total support of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that. And then the only other thing, and we've kind of talked about this before, did you know that the number of home sellers and between the number of home buyers and home sellers is the largest gap that it's been in the last 12 years?
I did see that. Yep. There's more sellers than buyers right now.
100%. And did you also know that it'll take roughly 7 years to fix the housing shortage at the current rate that they are currently building homes?
Something's got to snap.
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. And
it seems like interest rates are still only going up from here.
Well, here's the thing though. So this was just last week that this happened. So I'm going to go on the record, and this is based on what our team talked about. This is based on all the things that we have read and researched and everything like that. For anyone out there who's hoping that rates are going to go down, buckle up. The Fed has come out and said, get used to where the rates are at, because anything coming close to 6% is not going to happen anytime soon. The lowest that you're probably going to see, unless you get a new build with incentives, and yes, I can still help with new builds, is about 6.5%. Probably about maybe about 6.4 to 7% is probably where we're going to be hovering at. But I'm more comfortable with the 6.5 to 7%.
Yeah, because the current average right now is above 7, isn't it?
It's above set. Well, hold on, I can tell you right now.
It's like 7.5.
I can tell you.
I know it follows the 10-year Treasury yield.
Yep. So for a 30-year fixed mortgage for an FHA, or no, just the average is 6.95%. That's the average when you compare all the rates together.
Yeah.
And then a 15-year fixed average is 6.21%. So again, I don't want to go into the whole housing bubble thing, because here's the thing. A lot of agents, and I talked with a couple of them, and she was using ChatGPT to like ask ChatGPT about the housing bubble. And she was only referring to DFW, which respectfully, I mean, we do live in DFW, but
ChatGPT is not going to give you a real answer on that.
It's not going to give you a real accurate answer on that. No one's actually going to come out and say anything. And I've talked with people about this before. Everyone's afraid of the R word, the recession. But here's the thing: if we finish
that R word,
that R word.
Okay.
But if we finish the month of June with less home sales, with a lower number of home sales than the previous year, and we continue that trend, by definition, we will be in a recession at the end of June, going into July. I'm not saying, panic and also, I'm not saying that by any means, but people need to be prepared that by definition, that is a recession. If we finish 2 quarters with less than what we have in previous years, then by definition, that is a recession. The house, as far as like, again, the house building aspect, that's kind of why I'm on the fence of like, I just want to find some land and just build my own house, because I can at least get the home that I want for the price that I want and just be happy with that. But it also too just depends on what happens in that plan as a whole. But I think that there's a lot of home builders out there, like, that do custom home builds, that, build these larger homes and stuff like that. I think if you actually just built traditional 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes and just built more of those, even start offering 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes. I don't care. Start offering homes like that. And just,
I see that around the Austin area. There's definitely builders doing that.
Yeah. They don't do that a lot up here. And like, they have them in Ropes and Ranch, but that's obviously a retirement community, so you can't live there unless you're retired. But you can fit more homes into certain areas and make them more affordable. But we can definitely talk about that another time. I'm kind of still on this, like, people are still buying and selling, but it is getting harder and harder for people to actually obtain that, even with how new builds are offering incentives. D.R. Horton's offering some great rate incentives right now and just, closing cost concessions, but there's still a lot of underlining things that we don't know about and that we're just learning about as the weeks go by. So just kind of want to leave that there. It's going to take about 7 years, but if we keep having people relocate and people move from other countries to here, it's going to take even longer. So just kind of put that out there. So
thankfully, our partners for this live stream, Applebee's, has $15.99 all you can eat options. So definitely recessionary proof as best possible. Limited time only, of course. $15.99 all you can eat is back at your local Applebee's, eating good in the hood.
Dude, low key, like, I will never go back to Applebee's and eat, but ever since I saw that commercial, I'm like,
it's a good deal.
I can give me some all you can eat riblets, dog. Like,
you can. $15.99 could be an entree price at another restaurant. So
but other entrees at other restaurants are better quality, though.
I know, but the sponsors of today's episode, this 24-hour live stream.
I'll tell you what, Applebee's, if you give us a discount and make it $7.99 for all you can eat, I will go there tomorrow.
Use coupon code Unscripted Company at checkout with your server? ? I don't know. They put the computer tablets on the tables. There could be coupon codes. Try Unscripted Company. See what it gets you.
All right. So the Chrisleys and Diddy.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So first of all, it was Trump that pardoned them, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Well,
okay.
Trump pardoned the Chrisleys. Diddy is definitely not pardoned. Diddy is currently sitting in jail awaiting additional trial.
Okay.
I think that trial is currently ongoing.
Okay.
Dark and disturbing, the stuff that comes out of that trial. But
right. Because I don't know where that comment went, but when Daddy Streaming mentioned, he said maybe Diddy. So do you think Diddy is going to get pardoned?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because then I have done no research into the Chrisleys. I know didn't they get arrested for like tax evasion or something? Like
yes, they did. Yeah, it was it was a lot of money.
I know, but like, it's white collar. It's fine. Diddy, on the other hand, I think he's a compromised CIA operative who got burned, and so they're burning him down. But also, I mean, Diddy be diddling, so I don't know. Different types of crimes.
So I think, and I watched this video. Like, have you ever seen like some of the, like, you might not have, and it's like these videos of like these homeless people that there's one in particular, this homeless guy. He's like, you think the government's in charge? You're absolutely wrong. He's like, there's a power that even they don't know about that's actually pulling the strings from behind that. So like, you know, think about, you know, BlackRock and all these other, but these high up people that we don't even understand or we can't even comprehend that are pulling all the strings for the government.
Oh, there's a level above the names you just said. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. So like, what if this entire time, God, I wish I could find that video. I want to say I saved it.
Well, I mean, look, it's not difficult to think that Diddy was an intelligence operative being used the same way the Manson family was used. Looking at that one, the Manson murders. But it's not crazy to think that Diddy was just an operative within the music industry. You know, it's on record that intelligence agencies love to use media. Music is mass media to influence society to, you know. So I don't think it's crazy to think that.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm like, I see like all these things happening. I see all these things unfolding. I see what's been going on. And I'm not the only one, you know, millions of people, you know, if you keep up with stuff like this. But this one homeless guy in particular was saying how, like, what if the entire time that we think that the government's actually the bad guys, they're just as I'm not saying they are, because there are some of them that have done some horrible things.
Yeah.
But what if like a good chunk of the people that we vote are actually just as much victims as we are in this scenario, where they're actually being the ones that are being puppeted around in turn, that, you know, like what we see of what's happening with them, but it's because of what is controlling them.
Yeah, no, I think that's doable. That's believable, because you have when you have these like freshman senators and Congress people that get elected, and they're walking into the belly of the beast of something that's been operating before they're even alive. Mm-hmm. And you have these senior senators and senior Congress people that, you know, they've been in the system. They understand the status quo. They understand what levers you pull for certain things. And when you have these freshmen elected officials come in, it's kind of like, hey, you get with the program or life's not going to be easy for you. And you have countless people giving examples of this happening. So, you know, it kind of goes into the whole definition of the deep state, right? You have these individuals that have been in both elected and unelected roles within the government that have been here for decades, multiple decades. And so there's just a way things operate, and you don't get in the way of that.
Right.
But then you have intelligence agencies at the same time that are doing things that you and I will never know about. We only get to see little glimpses behind the curtain.
Right.
But between like Assad and the CIA and things like that, like there's things going on that you and I have no idea that are happening.
So. Right. And that's completely understandable. You know, like that's something that, you know, we've always kind of talked about and understanding of what that is. But it's just like, it really begs the, like, you know, we talked about so many different conspiracy theories and everything. But one of the conspiracy theories that we've kind of hinted at and talked about, and I could have swore I saved a video on this too. But when we've talked about this theory right here, and it's called, let me actually find it real quick if I can actually pull it up. Let's see here. That's not it. We'll just kind of go with this one right here. The ice wall theory.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was in the same video or if it was a different video, but there was something that this person came out and said that he made it out there or something happened, but essentially he was sent back. I can't remember how the whole thing went, but the people that are the powers that are beyond our government are the powers that lie outside I did not.
I don't know. Saw it on the internet somewhere.
Wait, can you pull that up? I didn't see that conspiracy.
That you controlled the auto pen?
No, the Joe Biden conspiracy tweet from True Social today.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't either. But yeah, so again, we only know what we know inside this wall. If this is the case, and this all exists outside of what we can comprehend and what we know, that begs the question. Again,
are you telling me every photograph from NASA is a lie?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. Have you seen the U.S. from the U.S.? Have you seen the Earth from the International Space Station?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't seen a picture of Earth, like
no,
from space?
Oh well, like
ever?
Not in real life, but like
no, but like you've seen a photo of
yeah,
Earth? Okay,
yeah.
okay. I think the ice wall is an interesting theory. I mean, there's a reason we can't go to Antarctica, right? There's a reason things get scrubbed off of Google Earth quite frequently. So, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Let's see here. I'm trying to look for that tweet that he was talking about, the Joe Biden conspiracy tweet.
Yeah. Well, there's always the question of like what's going on off the coast. And I'm sure you're aware of this one. We actually talked about it the other day, but we never found it. There's a structure that's off of Malibu in the deep water that was available on Google Maps.
Was a structure.
Mm-hmm. And now it's blurred out.
Yep.
But it looked like there's openings in it. There's a top that's flat. It looks like
a base.
Looks like a base.
This.
Interesting. It's Antarctica. It's Atlantis. That's what it is.
I don't know.
I'm kidding. I don't know. But again, there's just so much that we just don't understand, and it's like, not like I'm not saying like I want to, but it's like I want to know. Like that's the thing.
The truth will set you free and kill you at the same time.
And probably, the CIA is going to come in somehow, some way. But yeah, I think the whole Diddy thing. I think it's slowly everything's getting peeled back.
Yes.
And
I think enough will get peeled back. Not everything will ever get peeled back. There's definitely people being protected in this, but
100%.
Yeah.
But I think here's the thing. We're not going to get everything, but I think people are going to get more than what they expect. That's what I think.
See that. I think a lot of stuff that went on with the Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell trial, I think a lot of that they'll use Diddy as a fall person for that. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of dark, evil stuff that Diddy will be convicted of, or at least we'll hear about. Uh-huh. I think a lot of what's actually going on, though, I think he'll be used as like the fall guy for a lot of it.
Do you think he's going to come out and obviously he probably will, but he's actually going to flip on those people if given the opportunity?
Would he have already done that if he could have?
What's keeping him from doing it?
Your guess is as good as mine. He's already in jail. Like this is already an ongoing thing. He's not
but that's the thing though. It's like if he's already in jail.
Yeah.
They have a quote unquote case against him, but if he has the evidence to show that, let's say if he has the evidence to show that he was an undercover operative for the CIA and that he was being controlled the entire time and manipulated to do the things that he did, and it wasn't just him.
Did Epstein have a similar idea?
Like to come out to flip?
He's not here anymore.
Maybe that's why he's not doing it. Unless maybe he's being smarter about it, because you have to think Diddy lasted a lot long. How long did he was doing this stuff again, probably around the same time that Epstein was. And they're just now bringing him into it, they're just now showing him. But it's like this list that they have brought out has already exposed numerous, I'd say probably close to 100 celebrities and power people, if not more. Yeah. Nobody can hide from the truth anymore. So it's like, who's going to come out and actually be the whistleblower on this aside from him? Like, he's not really the whistleblower. He's the one that they're using. But it's like, is there someone that's just going to come out and just say, hey, this is what happened?
The victims. Yes. I think you'll hear more from victims over time. There's already a handful of victims that have already come out and spoken out against it. Him. What was it? That girl he always kept around. What was her?
I know Justin Bieber. Like, I don't know if he came out and said anything, but he was one of the victims as well.
What was her name? I only loosely follow this stuff. What was her name? Cassie Ventura. Where he like allegedly bought a house for her to keep her close. He'd randomly drop in on her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she alleged that Sean Diddy Combs controlled aspects of her life, including her finances, her career, sometimes would take her phone away and other technology as punishment. She claimed Combs paid for her home and other expenses, which she said were part of his controlling behavior. She previously sued him for an undisclosed amount, which later came out to be $20 million. But it's like, how many people do you do that to? Who knows, man?
That's the thing. Like, that's what's so crazy about all this is like, there's still so much that hasn't surfaced.
Yeah.
And what has surfaced has already like, blown my mind. I'm like, my childhood, like, like all these celebrities that, you watch growing up, and to come to find out that, Dana says, I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy got Epsteined in jail. I'm honestly more surprised that he hasn't been considered the high profile names associated with him.
Yeah. Makes you wonder why.
So, I don't know. Again,
yeah.
This could go on for months. This could go on for years before anything. Because how long was Epstein in jail before he?
I don't think that long.
Let's see here. When?
How long was Epstein in jail before he killed himself? That's the question you have to ask.
Go to jail. I just want to kind of see the.
Yeah. And while you're looking that up, I know we're getting close to the end here, so I do want to give one final shout out to our friends over at Applebee's Eating Good in the Hood. And also, if you made it this far into the live stream or the podcast after the fact, first of all, thanks for hanging out with us. I don't want to give any spoilers, but we may be doing this more often than not here in the near future. We'll talk about it. We'll see what happens. But if you made it this far, clearly you like something about it. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give it a follow, give it a subscribe. Sell your soul one more time to the good people over at Applebee's. What'd you find? How many?
18 months, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So okay. July 12th of 2019 was when this article came out. But apparently 18 months was when he was how long has Diddy been in jail for? When did he go to jail? It was like earlier this year, wasn't it?
I think so. It's been a couple months.
So not near as long. So
yeah,
who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, to send us out with a bang, you want to leave the good people out there with some words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. We talked about a lot of stuff tonight.
We did.
A lot to consider. I think this is the most stuff we've talked about on one episode.
We can make this a thing going forward.
We could make this a thing going forward.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Be careful about Apple. You never know. Could the brain control devices be coming to an Applebee's near you? You get your free brain device, from your 2 for $400, when you go into on your first night date, first date. Yeah, right there. The housing shortage. Is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? Is the housing market going to get better? Or is it going to get worse? Don't ask me. I mean, I am the professional, but I can't tell the entire national aspect. Be careful of your friendly neighborhood jet ski rider. You never know. Things happen, and unfortunate things happen. So be careful about that. And yeah, we appreciate all the support and all of our subscribers and followers. And as you're watching this right now, again, we very well could be doing this more in the future. So give us a like, give us a follow. support in any way possible. We have TikTok and all those various short form content that everyone enjoys. But if you enjoy the longer form content, give us a follow, and we'll see you in the next one.